fastest show in sports.
LSU beats the Florida Gators 20-10 in a Southeastern Conference game. Huge matchup between the two. Brian Kelly is the head coach of LSU. Brian Kelly comes out, he delivers his diatribe, which is what every coach does at the end of a game, and talks about the good things, the bad things, makes an opening statement. Then Brian Kelly gets hit with the first question, and Brian Kelly goes batshit.
Questions?
Brian in the back, I know you love these immediate post-game sessions, but what are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's a ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
Coach Deshaun Spears, 2 interceptions tonight. It seems like he's worked into a role on an
That's a
important role
great question. Thank you.
Now, there's a couple of things at work here. First of all, Brian Kelly is nice enough to say seasoned reporters. Look, covering games this year at colleges, a lot of times it's student, barely former students, guys and gals who are running podcasts who know absolutely nothing about college football, sports, anything whatsoever. They're just there because they've been given a podcast. That's number one. Number two, Kelly apologized for that, and I don't think he should apologize, actually. No, don't. Ask for better questions. That's one of the things that journalists don't do these days, and I use the word journalists very cautiously because of what I just said. Most of them ask the dumbest, stupid questions in the world. We had a guy who used to go to Miami Dolphins practices and used to cover the games for a network affiliate in Miami, television. The first question out of his mouth, every single damn time, the guy deserved a good slap. And he did this in front of Don Shula one time. Well, no, he did it more than once. He came up to Shula. It's a scrum. Everybody's around him. It's the day after a game. Shula does the big shot with all the television and radio, and everybody gets one big shot for our interviews. And the guy goes, "Coach, talk about the game last night. Talk about the offense." Shula, and I swear this is true, because I am standing right to Don Shula's left. Shula looks at him, and the guy's over here to the right, looks at him and says, "Is that a question? No, is that a question? No, I just want to be sure. If that's a question, I'd like to answer it. But if it's a statement that you're making, I'd like to know so that I can respond to it properly. But if that's a question, it's really a poor question." And Shula turns and goes to somebody else. Guy never asked another question the rest of the season. Never again. Because he was put in his place. He asked a stupid question. And I did it too. One time I asked a stupid question of Shula after the game. He looked at me, because Shula and I had a relationship. I knew him better than just a reporter. I knew his family. I knew his wife. I knew his kids. I knew him very well. Shula gave me a look like, "Are you freaking kidding me? You're going to ask that question? Haven't I taught you better?" Because I also used to do the pregame shows for the Dolphins. I used to record it on an old big reel-to-reel tape deck. So I used to do those. And Shula was upset at me. And not only that, but a couple of weeks later, Shula caught me in a moment coming off the field, and he said, "You know, you asked a stupid question, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah, Coach, I did." He said, "You're not going to do it again." I said, "No, Coach, I'm not going to do it again." And I never did. I thought about my questions from there on out, made me a better reporter. But in LSU, we have no idea what these reporters are. Look, and I'm not going to try and cast aspersions on the guy who asked the question. He could be one of the best, and he likely is, because usually you get the first question is asked by a senior reporter. It's not asked by one of these dummies who were in there. But in essence, Kelly's right. First thing is the guy asks is about a negative, and they won the game. I mean, they didn't blow out Florida, but that's not the whole deal. They won the game. LSU's almost unbeatable at night in their stadium. You just can't. It was a good game. They played good, hard, tough defense. They held Florida to 10 points, and they still won the game by 10 points, by 2 scores. So you don't necessarily have to ask a question like that. Ask something smarter. However, here comes the but in all this. Brian Kelly owes that reporter an apology, if you look at it in one sense. Because that's your job. Your job as the head coach is to go out there, face the music, answer the questions, and not be a jackass. So while there is a part of me that says, okay, he's allowed to react like that, you still don't act like a blithering idiot and call a guy out like that. You don't do that. Man's doing his job. And you're supposed to be doing your job too. And granted, maybe the question wasn't asked perfectly the way it should be. Maybe it should have been asked a little more intelligently. Maybe it should have had some depth to it. But in the same breath, hey, Brian, you're the head coach of a major college football program in America. Get used to it. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you want to play lumberjack, learn to handle your end of the log. And not only that, learn to handle questions like that a whole lot better. You're supposed to be better. However, as I said, there's a part of me that says he shouldn't apologize. But in the same breath, I'm going, don't be a jerk. You don't have to be a jerk to do this. Now, again, to be fair, he apologized. I give him a tremendous amount of credit for that. That takes a lot for somebody to come out and apologize. But he probably got called on it by the athletic director and probably got noted, maybe even his wife. Maybe his wife and kids came up and said, you know, you shouldn't have been such a complete shit at the press conference. You could have been a whole lot better. And then he's going to apologize. Look, the reporter's not going to think anything of it. And not only that, the reporter might get a break coming down the road because Kelly might now look at him favorably and say, I owe this guy one. So if you're the head coach of a major college football program, man up, will you? Don't get so insulted. Answer the question. And not only that, here's news for Kelly. Take a lesson from a guy like Don Shula. You could have answered the question, and you could have quietly put the guy down, and you could have just answered it calmly, went through it, and left it alone. But you didn't do that. You made a jerk out of yourself. Apology is accepted, at least this time.
That's all, folks.